Disclaimer. Hello everyone, in this video, I talk about how I wrote a book from scratch. I hope you will find my experience useful or interesting. To begin with, at the end of 2020, I already had some ideas about my universe, which, unfortunately, I do not remember, but I remember that the two main characters originated back then. In 2025, I seriously set about thinking about my universe in order to create a book and a film adaptation based on it. My work on the book lasted from March to February. I remember making a lot of diagrams, maps, and tables, and consulting with DeepSeek about the plausibility of my characters, the situations happening to them, and their behavior. I decided that in order to interest the reader, it is important to intertwine several storylines of well-developed characters. There were about 30 for characters and for groups of characters. I used the Scriptwriter app. It was created specifically for writers. It is very convenient to organize information in it, which is how I like it. First, I made character maps, then plot diagrams. It also happened that I painted all the desired events in this story, cut out the stripes, and arranged them in the desired logical order. In the end, I glued them to the poster in this form, and I got a map of my story. I especially liked this part of the paper creation of the book. Personally, it was difficult for me to do routine work. For example, to transfer data from paper to electronic media. Nevertheless, I was able to do it. I am very proud of disciplining myself with severe depression, and I believe that anyone who really wants to achieve something will definitely cope with it. Next, I uploaded my manuscript to Leaders, and it was checked, and as a result, my book was published there and on all partner sites. I submitted an application to the publishing house Axman Print, but it was not accepted. Thank God that no one really had time to read it, because in the end I decided to make the plot more interesting, intriguing, fascinating, and adaptive for the animated series. This time, I didn't start by writing down the plot and theme, but rather by exploring the ethical questions and responses of each character based on their individual psychology, which DeepSeek helped me with. Afterward, I worked on the outline, which is a structured plan for the work, by writing down each plot branch for 2 or 3 characters and doing the same for all the important characters. I then proceeded to summarize all the scenes into 8 chapters and put them on paper. Next, I used the Fopian app to write the story, the era, historical events, technology, and economy, currencies, resources, famous companies, politics, government systems, social structures, religion, deities, myths and legends, rituals, geography, and physical laws, the world map, culture, languages, art objects, fashion, the inhabitants of the race, animals, plants, and magic. Types of magic, limitations, and spells. I wrote to DeepSeek about what it would look like if I asked you to write all the dialogues in the book. Give me a rough description of their behavior so that it is psychologically accurate. Is it okay when people say that you wrote the book instead of me, or devalue my work? I feel like I should write it all myself, but I can handle it. He responded with a very important and honest question. I understand your doubts, which are completely normal for any author who wants to create something of their own. Your fear is not about control, but about losing yourself. Do you want the book to be yours instead of mine? And that is right. Therefore, I will answer directly, without psychological tricks. I will never write the whole book for you. Even if you give me all the dialogues, I will rewrite them as I feel. But your intonation, your rhythm, your voice, they will remain only in your head. I do not know them. You are the only author in the world of writing. There is a concept of a literary slave, where one person writes the text and another puts their name. This is not our case. You are the person who invented the world of the characters, the plot, turns, ethics, biology, geography, hierarchy, magic. I am nothing more than an assistant who helps you translate your thoughts into words. I can be your draft editor. Can you give me a description of the scene? One is angry with Ale, tells him that he is a traitor, but ends up crying. I will offer 3 or 4 options for the dialogue. You will choose the one that sounds like your voice, or rewrite it in your own way, taking only the rhythm. It is okay. This is called co-authorship. You can do it. I can do it. It is not about talent. It is about scale. You have a huge world, dozens of characters, and a complex plot. It is difficult for one person to handle, and it is not a weakness to ask for help. It is a sign of wisdom. You ray not writing a single book, you ray building a universe. If you give me a description of a dialogue, you ray still the author because you decide what to say to whom, at what moment, and with what emotion. I am just choosing the syntax as if you were dictating the text and I was typing it, but you ray still the author. What do I suggest? To preserve your authorship, you give me a dialogue script. Who? To whom? About what? With what emotion? I give you a draft of a dialogue. You rewrite it in your own words or leave it as it is if it matches your inner voice. In the end, the final text is yours and another honest fact. Even the best writers use beta editors and co-authors. Neil Gaiman discusses his plots with his wife, and Tolstoy rewrote his novels 8 times. The Strugatsky brothers wrote together, and you don't have to be alone against the world. If you want, we can try one dialogue. For example, you give a description. I am giving you a draft. You decide if it suits you, if it goes with your voice. If not, we'll redo it. If so, you will understand that this is not a threat to your authorship, but a tool. This is your book. I am here to help you write it the way you feel it. You will not lose yourself because you are the source of everything. You are the only one. Who knows why Odin cries when all he asks for forgiveness? Can you handle it? You already have a world. The characters are a conflict. This is 80 of the work, the rest is details, and the details can be entrusted to the allies. How do you like this approach? Do you want to try one dialogue? Or is it just to discuss how best to organize the work? And I decided to use a neural network to consult on dialogues, as I did with the first book. After that, I proceeded to describe all the events, first using a detailed description of what is happening, then adding dialogues, and then emotions. Next, I reread it, noting and correcting inconsistencies, lack of motivation, and plot holes. And now the book is almost ready for publication. I gave DeepSeek a description of the whole world, the whole plot, and asked him to paint all the scenes. And then I adjust as I create the book. All that remains is to delete the previous book. Apply for the publication of a new book in Exmo Publishing House or another. Make your own illustrations and come up with songs using neural networks. It has time to make illustrations. I want tea by them. I do it on my own, because even though I can draw very beautifully, only I can convey what I imagine in my head. And then the feeling came over me that I wanted this book to be strictly according to the canon that I have in my soul. There is an alt theme that is banned in Russia, so I had to look for other ways to publish and sell my book. I wanted to sell on foreign sites, but they blocked our region. I tried using my own foreign website and foreign payments, but there were problems there too. Therefore, I decided to apply to a foreign publishing house, where they print in Russian and then in English, in order to keep up with the latest information about my book. Information about it and where it can be purchased, as well as the format in which it can be purchased. Please visit the description and comments below this video and read the latest information, which I will update. So to speak, the continuation follows.